This is your moment of awakening, the spiritual shift of life that calls you to align with universal law. Within these timeless teachings lie the keys to transforming your vibration, your destiny, and your reality. The universe has been waiting for you. Spiritual Shift of Life. Introduction. Across the silent corridors of eternity, wisdom has traveled, whispering through the ages to those whose hearts are ready to remember. These sacred echoes, older than time itself, now find you. For you did not stumble upon this book by chance. The same unseen force that governs the stars has guided you here, to the threshold of your awakening. This is the moment of your spiritual shift, the divine turning of the inner tide. Here, the ancient and the immediate meet, and the mystical merges with the practical. What awaits you is not ritual or doctrine, but remembrance, a return to the eternal harmony between your soul and the universal law that shapes all existence. The law of attraction is not merely a concept. It is the living rhythm of creation, responding faithfully to the frequency of your thoughts and emotions. Like a cosmic mirror, it reflects the vibration you hold within, sculpting your outer world from the clay of your inner belief. Over the coming 7 days, you will awaken to your own creative current. Each chapter opens a hidden chamber within your consciousness, a key that unlocks new dimensions of clarity, power, and alignment. You will come to recognize your vibrational signature as the sacred language through which you speak to the universe. And when you have attuned yourself to this law, you will no longer strive, you will flow. You will no longer wish, you will know. For to live in harmony with the universal law is to remember your birthright as a conscious creator. These teachings are not new. They are timeless truths returning in this perfect moment of your evolution, responding to the quiet call of your seeking heart. You have not found them. They have found you. This is synchronicity, the law already moving in your favor. Let every word fall upon your spirit like divine rain upon fertile soil. Trust that as you listen, something ancient within you will stir, and what was once hidden will blossom into radiant knowing. The spiritual shift of life begins now. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Awakening Phase. Chapter 1. The Whisper of Beginning. In a quaint corner of town, Eleanor arranged fresh flowers in her shop window, her hands moving with practiced grace even as worry clouded her mind. Day after day she watched potential customers pass by without entering, each empty hour feeding her mounting fears about meeting expenses. The more she focused on possible failure, the more that very reality seemed to manifest, like a self-fulfilling prophecy taking shape in the quiet aisles between her beautiful but unsold bouquets. Through the lens of divine wisdom, every thought acts as a beacon, drawing toward you more experiences that match its frequency. Eleanor's constant attention to lack had become a magnetic force, unconsciously repelling the very prosperity she yearned for. The universe responds not to what you want, but to the energy you consistently emit. When anxiety dominates your inner dialogue, you broadcast a frequency of scarcity that life must echo back. Down the street lived Thomas, an elderly gardener whose rose garden drew admirers from miles around. One morning, as Eleanor walked past his gate, she noticed him quietly tending his flowers, humming softly to himself. Intrigued by his peaceful demeanor, she stopped to watch. "Your roses are magnificent," she said. "How do you keep them blooming so beautifully?" Thomas smiled, continuing his gentle work. "I don't worry about whether they'll bloom," he replied. "I simply create the conditions for growth and trust nature's wisdom. The flowers know what to do. My job is to tend with love and stay out of their way." In that moment, Eleanor recognized a profound truth. Thomas's detachment from outcomes, combined with his loving attention to the present moment, created a perfect environment for abundance to flourish naturally. His garden thrived not because he anxiously monitored every bud, but because he maintained unwavering faith in the natural flow of life. The ancient practice of gratitude. Whispers. As darkness settles each evening, find a quiet moment to whisper thanks for 5 simple blessings that touched your day. Perhaps it's the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the smile of a stranger, or the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. Let appreciation fill your heart as you acknowledge these gifts, knowing that gratitude is the highest frequency you can emit. This practice will gradually retune your energy from anxiety to abundance, allowing life's natural prosperity to flow unimpeded through your experience. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Mind. In the heart of a bustling city lived Calvin, a man whose morning ritual had become a battlefield. Each dawn he stood before his mirror, waging war against every perceived flaw. "Too old," he would mutter, tracing the lines near his eyes. "Too tired," he'd sigh, examining the shadows beneath them. His reflection had become both judge and jury, delivering verdicts that echoed through his days. As above, so below. As within, so without. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds not to our words alone, but to the energy we emanate. Calvin's harsh self-criticism manifested as countless small frustrations, missed connections, delayed meetings, and moments of discord that seemed to follow him like shadows. The law of attraction operates through feeling, not merely through thought. When you stand before your reflection and cast judgment, you split your creative force. One part reaches toward your desires, while the other pushes against your very essence. This division creates a spiritual static that clouds the clear signal of manifestation. One afternoon, while waiting for his car to be serviced, Calvin encountered Maria, whose presence seemed to illuminate the dingy waiting room. She sat beside her ancient vehicle, its paint dulled by years of sun, its fenders touched by rust. Yet her eyes sparkled as she spoke of it. "Isn't she beautiful?" Maria beamed, patting the weathered hood. "Every mark tells a story of adventure. This rust? That's from driving to the coast to watch sunrise. These scratches, they're memories of camping under desert stars." Her words carried no trace of apology, no hint of shame. She loved what was exactly as it was. The air around her seemed lighter, clearer, as if her acceptance had cleared away the static of resistance. Calvin watched in amazement as the mechanic, initially gruff, softened in her presence. Parts that were unavailable suddenly appeared. Prices that were fixed became flexible. Her reality shifted and shaped itself around her radiant self-acceptance. This is the hidden power of self-love. It clears the channel through which abundance flows. When you release the grip of judgment, you allow the universe to reflect back not your fears, but your light. As the sun sets each day, stand before your mirror. Let your gaze be gentle, your breath slow and deep. Speak these words with the power of truth. I am aligned with kindness. Feel how this alignment shifts not just your energy, but the very field of possibilities around you. This is not mere ritual. It is a realignment of your magnetic core, a restoration of your natural state of harmony. Chapter 3. The Seed of Intention. On a small balcony overlooking the city, Margaret tended her herb garden with varying degrees of attention. Some pots received her gentle whispers and mindful care, while others stood forgotten in the shadows. As weeks passed, the results spoke volumes about the law of focused energy. The basil and mint she cherished flourished with vibrant leaves, while the sage and thyme she overlooked struggled to break through the soil. Your thoughts, like Margaret's attention to her herbs, flow as invisible currents of creative force. The universe responds not to the multitude of your desires, but to the depth and clarity of your focus. When you scatter your creative energy across countless wishes, you dilute the potency of manifestation. Just as a magnifying glass must concentrate sunlight to ignite a flame, your consciousness must gather itself into a single, unwavering beam to kindle reality into being. Each morning, as Margaret watered her thriving herbs, she noticed how they seemed to lean toward her presence, responding to more than just water and light. Their growth reflected the invisible nourishment of her attention, a living demonstration of how energy follows thought. One evening, her neighbor Sophia, whose balcony overflowed with abundant blooms, shared an ancient truth. "Plants feel the song of your soul," she explained, gently touching a leaf. "They know when you're dancing with them in spirit and when your mind wanders elsewhere. The same principle governs all creation, your dreams included." The wisdom in Sophia's words mirrors the fundamental law of manifestation. That which you nurture with consistent, loving attention will inevitably blossom into physical form. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Some will flourish under the warm sun of your focused intention, while others may lie dormant, waiting for the light of your awareness to awaken them. Sacred practice. The dawn. Nurturing. As the first light touches the horizon, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your mind to settle like still water. Choose a single intention, one seed of possibility you wish to nurture into being. Visualize this intention as a glowing sphere of light before you, pulsing with potential. Feel the warmth of certainty as you witness it transforming from ethereal light into solid reality. Pour your awareness into this vision until the feeling of its completion fills your entire being. This is not mere wishing. It is the sacred act of creation itself. Chapter 4. The Frequency of Faith. In a bustling city, Beatrice sat at her desk, rolling her eyes at the sticky notes adorned with positive statements that her colleague had given her. "The universe supports my dreams," she muttered with a sardonic smile, as if words could change reality. Each morning, she'd arrive at work, face tight with tension, cataloging everything that could go wrong. Her skepticism had become a shield, protecting her from what she saw as foolish hope. Yet beneath her cynical exterior lay an exhausted soul, weary from constantly bracing against disappointment. Life in its infinite wisdom, began orchestrating gentle lessons. Her carefully controlled schedule unraveled, trains delayed, meetings rescheduled, plans disrupted. Each unexpected turn revealed how little control her doubt actually provided. The universe speaks through patterns, and these disruptions carry wisdom. When you resist the flow of life with doubt, you create interference in your energetic field. This resistance manifests as static in the cosmic radio of creation, distorting the clear signal of your desires. Faith is not a leap into darkness, but an alignment with light. It is the natural state of your being, just as water naturally flows downstream. Your doubt does not protect you. It merely dams the river of abundance that seeks to reach you. One autumn afternoon, Beatrice found herself in the park, watching a young girl by the pond. The child held a paper boat, carefully folded from yesterday's newspaper. Without hesitation, she placed it upon the water, completely trusting the wind to guide its journey. "Won't it sink?" Beatrice asked, her practical mind already calculating the risks. The girl smiled, her eyes never leaving her boat. "The wind knows where to take it," she replied simply, watching as her craft sailed smoothly across the pond. In that moment, Beatrice witnessed pure faith, not blind optimism, but natural trust in the flow of life. The child hadn't needed guarantees or proof. She simply aligned with the present moment, allowing it to unfold. Sacred practice. As the sun rises each morning, stand in quiet solitude. Let these words rise from your heart. Everything unfolds for my best and highest good. Speak them once, clearly and with intention. Then, like releasing a balloon into the vast sky, let your declaration float free. Do not track its path or question its journey. Trust that the universe has heard your heart's frequency. In this practice of pure faith, you clear the channel for miracles to flow. Chapter 5. The Current of Gratitude. In the quiet streets of an ancient town lived Mabel, whose days flowed like water in a still pond, unchanging, predictable, void of sparkle. Each morning melted into evening with the same heavy weight until one dawn, as steam rose from her morning coffee, something shifted. The aroma, rich and familiar, caught her attention differently. "Thank you," she whispered, surprising herself with this spontaneous expression of appreciation. This small act sparked an awakening. The universe responds not to the magnitude of our gratitude, but to its authenticity. As you attune yourself to life's subtle gifts, you align with the eternal flow of abundance that surrounds you always. When Mabel began noting these tiny treasures, the warmth of sunlight through her window, the melody of distant birdsong, a stranger's unexpected smile, her perception underwent a profound transformation. The law of attraction operates through frequency, and gratitude vibrates at the highest frequencies known to the human heart. Life still presented its challenges, yet Mabel discovered that thankfulness didn't deny difficulties, it simply expanded her vision beyond them. This truth lies at the heart of manifestation. What you appreciate, appreciates. One morning, moved by this new awareness, Mabel baked cookies for Mrs. Chen, a neighbor who had previously passed her without acknowledgement. As she placed the warm bundle at her neighbor's door, she felt no expectation, only genuine appreciation for the opportunity to share. The ripples of this action soon returned multiplied. Mrs. Chen, touched by the gesture, introduced Mabel to her daughter, who owned a gallery. This led to Mabel displaying her long-forgotten paintings, awakening a dormant passion. Opportunities began flowing as naturally as breath. Here lies a sacred truth. Gratitude is not merely a response to abundance. It is the very frequency that attracts it. Each thank you sends forth a signal that resonates with similar energies in the universe, creating a magnetic field of positive attraction. Ancient practice, the gratitude pulse. 3 times each day, dawn, noon, and dusk, place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm beneath your palm. In this intimate moment, silently acknowledge everything within your awareness: the air in your lungs, the ground beneath your feet, the infinite possibilities that surround you. Let appreciation flow naturally, without forcing or searching. This practice creates a continuous frequency of thankfulness, attracting miracles as naturally as flowers draw pollen from the air. Chapter 6. The Language of Vibration. In the heart of a dimly lit jazz club, Howard sat at his piano, fingers dancing across the ivory keys. Night after night, he observed a peculiar pattern. When his heart sang with joy, the music soared, and the universe responded with packed houses and standing ovations. Yet on evenings when doubt crept in, his melodies turned melancholic, and the rooms emptied like autumn leaves scattered by wind. The law of vibration reveals itself through such musical metaphors. Each thought, each feeling you carry, resonates at a specific frequency. Like Howard's piano strings, your emotional state creates ripples that echo through the fabric of existence. When you play notes of worry, the universe cannot help but return that same discordant tune. Your emotions are not merely responses to life. They are the very language through which you communicate with the infinite. Every moment of fear sends a signal requesting more situations to fear. Each burst of joy broadcasts an invitation for more joyful circumstances to manifest. Howard discovered this truth one evening when an elderly woman in white sat in the front row. She never spoke, yet her presence emanated such peace that his music flowed with unprecedented grace. Her serenity created a field of harmony that transformed not just the music, but the entire atmosphere of the room. In her stillness lay the secret. When your inner state aligns with what you wish to create, the universe responds with perfect resonance. This is the essence of emotional manifestation. Like a tuning fork that causes nearby instruments to vibrate at its frequency, your consistent emotional tone shapes the events and circumstances that flow into your life. The universe does not distinguish between emotions you feel about your past, present, or desired future. It simply matches your predominant frequency. The vibrational practice. Throughout your day, when you notice tension or discord arising, begin to hum softly. This simple act shifts your focus from mental turbulence to physical vibration. Feel how the sound emanates from your center, creating a new frequency that dissolves the old pattern. Your hum becomes a reset button, realigning your energy with the natural flow of life. This practice doesn't require specific notes or melodies. Simply allow your voice to find its natural, soothing tone. Like Howard's piano strings responding to gentle pressure, your energy field will respond to this intentional shift in vibration. This practice reminds us that sound, in its most organic form, is not just an auditory experience, but a vibrational language that harmonizes body and spirit. The act of humming creates resonance within, gently massaging the nervous system and dissolving accumulated tension. as your hum travels through your chest and skull. It activates inner frequencies that quiet the mind and return you to a state of presence, your natural rhythm beneath the noise of thought. In this state, you become both the instrument and the player, similar to how Howard's piano responds not to force but to sensitivity. Each vibration you emit becomes a tuning fork for your own energy field, inviting coherence and clarity. The simplicity of this act, no structure, no melody, becomes its greatest power, reminding you that healing is not always grand or external. Sometimes it is as subtle as a single sustained breath vibrating through the heart. Through consistent practice, the hum evolves into a form of energetic reset. It aligns you with the gentle pulse of nature, reconnecting you to the cycles of calm and renewal that underlie all living things. In this alignment, stress dissolves, awareness deepens, and you begin to experience life as a continuous symphony, one in which your own frequency contributes to the greater harmony of existence. Chapter 7. The Lesson of Allowing. In a bustling city lived Clara, a woman who measured life in minutes and mapped destiny with deadlines. Each morning she would grip her planner like a shield, armoring herself against uncertainty with endless lists and rigid schedules. Her calendar became a fortress, protecting her from life's natural ebbs and flows. One autumn morning, Clara's perfectly timed world began to unravel. Her train arrived late, meetings shifted unexpectedly, and appointments dissolved like morning mist. With each disruption, her resistance grew stronger, her shoulders tenser, until she felt as though she carried the weight of time itself. The universe speaks through the language of flow, not force. When you attempt to bend life to your will, you create resistance that blocks the very gifts awaiting you. Your natural state is one of grace, a dance with divine timing that requires no struggle, no strain, no desperate grasping at control. Think of the ocean's tides, rising and falling in perfect harmony with the moon. They do not question their rhythm or attempt to rush their journey. The tide simply moves as it must, in accordance with universal law. So, too, must you learn to move with life's natural current rather than against it. Trust arises when you recognize that the universe operates on a schedule far more intricate and wise than any human could devise. Every delay holds purpose. Every detour contains hidden treasure. The path to manifesting your desires lies not in controlling their arrival, but in maintaining the perfect vibration of knowing they will appear at precisely the right moment. As Clara walked home that evening, weary from fighting time itself, she paused beneath a maple tree. Above her, leaves danced in the autumn breeze, releasing their hold when the moment felt right. No leaf consulted a schedule or demanded to know when it would fall. Each simply surrendered to the wisdom of nature's timing, floating down in a graceful spiral exactly when and where it was meant to land. Watching this display, Clara felt something shift within her heart. The leaves revealed a truth she had long forgotten, that nature's orchestration requires no conductor, no forced direction, no anxious anticipation. Each leaf found its perfect landing place through simple allowance. The ancient practice of surrender awaits your discovery. Find a quiet space and close your eyes for 5 minutes. Let your breath flow naturally, as though the universe breathes with and through you. With each exhalation, whisper internally, "I allow life to lead me gracefully." Feel how this gentle surrender begins to dissolve the walls of resistance you've built, opening channels for miracles to flow effortlessly into your experience. Chapter 8. The Power of Visualization. In a modest apartment overlooking the city, Edwin spent countless hours sketching business plans and vision boards. Yet his dream venture remained trapped in the realm of imagination, refusing to materialize despite his detailed strategies. Night after night, he would stare at his carefully crafted presentations, wondering why success stayed just beyond reach. The universe whispers a vital truth. Manifestation flows not from mental pictures alone, but from the marriage of vision and visceral feeling. When you merely see your desires in mind, you create beautiful paintings that hang in galleries of thought. But when you feel your dreams alive within your cells, you transform those paintings into portals of possibility. Edwin's breakthrough came when he stopped trying to perfect his business plan and instead began living his future in the present moment. Each morning, he would sit in the chair where he imagined meeting clients, feeling the excitement of sharing his ideas. He would touch his desk with the satisfaction of signing important contracts, breathe in the energy of a thriving office space. His body began to vibrate with the reality he wished to create. And the universe responded to this new frequency of certainty. The law of attraction operates through emotional conductivity. When you infuse your visualizations with the full spectrum of sensory awareness, you transmit a clear signal to the creative force of life. This signal carries the blueprint of your desire encoded in feelings, making manifestation inevitable rather than merely possible. This truth found perfect expression through Sophia, a painter known for capturing sunrises that seemed to pulse with living light. While other artists positioned themselves before dawn landscapes, Sophia painted from the memory of countless mornings spent absorbing the sun's awakening. Her canvases glowed not with technical precision, but with the warmth she had stored in her heart. Each brush stroke carried the emotion of daybreak, creating works that moved viewers to tears. "I don't paint what I see," she would say. "I paint what I've become." Your dreams await this same alchemical touch, the transformation of thought into feeling, of vision into vibration. The universe responds not to the precision of your plans, but to the resonance of your being. Ancient practice of sensory manifestation. Find stillness each morning as the world awakens. Close your eyes and step into the reality you wish to create. Let every sense awaken to this vision. Feel the texture of success against your skin. Breathe in the scent of achievement. Hear the sounds of your dreams manifesting. Allow your body to experience the gratitude and joy of your desire fulfilled. Hold this feeling state until your cells hum with its frequency. This is not mere visualization. It is vibrational preparation for what must come. This practice transforms the quiet of morning into a sacred threshold between what is and what can be. In that stillness, before the mind fills with tasks and noise, your awareness becomes a bridge to creation. By immersing your senses in the reality you long to experience, you dissolve the illusion of distance between dream and manifestation. Each breath becomes an act of alignment, tuning your inner world to the rhythm of what you are calling forth. The body, when infused with such vivid imagination, cannot distinguish between the present and the envisioned. As you feel success, taste joy, and breathe fulfillment, you begin to instruct your energy to vibrate at the frequency of completion. This sensory immersion invites coherence between thought, emotion, and vibration, a harmony that magnetizes the outer world to reflect your inner state. You become both the sculptor and the sculpture, shaping destiny through embodied presence. Over time, this morning ritual evolves into a language of resonance. It teaches your cells the song of gratitude and prepares your energy field for inevitable alignment with your desires. In this vibrational preparation, manifestation is no longer effortful but natural, an unfolding of what your consciousness has already rehearsed in stillness. Each dawn becomes not just the start of a new day, but a renewal of your creative power to shape reality from within. Chapter 9. The Alignment of Action. In a sunlit room filled with spiritual books, Louise sat cross-legged, highlighting passages about manifestation. Her shelves overflowed with wisdom, yet her dreams remained trapped between paper chapters. Each morning, she read about abundance, visualized success, and repeated affirmations. But her life stayed unchanged, like a painting forever waiting for its first brushstroke. The universe speaks through action. While thought plants the seed of creation, movement waters it into being. Your desires require more than mental attention. They hunger for physical demonstration. Each step you take sends ripples through the cosmic fabric, announcing your commitment to growth. Louise discovered this truth when winter's chill drove her to volunteer at a local shelter. Initially, she went simply to escape her apartment's stillness. As she served soup and shared smiles, something shifted. The warmth she gave returned multiplied, first in grateful eyes, then in unexpected ways. A guest at the shelter mentioned his marketing firm. Another spoke of investment opportunities. Within weeks, the connections she made while serving others opened doors her visualization alone had left closed. This is the sacred dance of manifestation, giving initiates receiving. The universe mirrors your energy, not just your thoughts, but your actions. When you move with purpose, the cosmos responds with opportunity. Your physical engagement becomes a prayer in motion, more powerful than 1,000 silent wishes. The law works through paradox. The more you give of yourself, the more abundance flows toward you, not as transaction, but as natural law, like water finding its level, like light filling empty space. Every action carries energy, and aligned action amplifies your creative force. Take one small step daily toward your vision. Let each movement, however modest, signal your readiness to receive. Write that first page. Make that important call. Rearrange your space for what's coming. The size of the action matters less than its sincerity. The sacred practice. Each morning, perform one deliberate action that aligns with your highest vision. Before you begin, place your hand over your heart and whisper, "Through this action, I declare my readiness." Then move with purpose, knowing each step creates ripples in the infinite field of possibility. Let your movements become prayers, your actions become invitations for manifestation. Begin by ritualizing the moment so your nervous system recognizes it as sacred and repeatable. Hand over heart, breathe slowly for 4 cycles, and speak the declaration. Through this action, I declare my readiness. Let the words land in your body. Feel your sternum soften, your shoulders drop. Then choose one small, concrete action that clearly advances your highest vision. Send the pitch email, draft the opening paragraph, schedule the training session. The key is clarity over volume. A single, unskippable step, completed with full presence, does more to shape reality than a scattered hour of effort. As you move, translate intention into form. Walk deliberately, place your tools mindfully, and keep a light awareness on your heartbeat to anchor purpose. Treat the action as a prayer in motion. No rush, no dramatics, just steady devotion. If resistance appears, meet it with micro-chops. Break the task into 2-minute slices and complete the first slice immediately. Close each slice with a tiny somatic seal. Press thumb to forefinger. Exhale through the nose to signal this is done to your body. These tactile cues teach your system to associate progress with calm, not strain. Complete the practice by creating ripples on purpose. Log the action in a simple readiness ledger. 3 columns, date, action, ripple noticed. Send one small signal to the world that matches your step. Share a learning, request feedback, or extend an offer. Then return your hand to your heart and acknowledge the shift you created. Gratitude in, tension out. Over days, these deliberate movements accumulate into identity-level evidence. I am the person who shows up. That identity hum becomes the magnet. Your actions, now prayers, quietly invite the manifestation you've already begun. Chapter 10. The Harmony of Purpose. In a quiet village, Walter wandered from position to position, his spirit restless as autumn leaves. Though skilled in many trades, nothing held his attention beyond fleeting moments. Each morning brought the same hollow sensation, a gnawing awareness that something essential remained missing. One dawn, as silence filled his meditation, a memory surfaced. The joy that had illuminated his face years ago when teaching his younger cousin to read. That spark of recognition in another's eyes had felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. Through the stillness came understanding. His greatest fulfillment had always emerged in moments of sharing wisdom. The universe speaks through alignment. When your actions flow from your deepest truth, resistance melts like morning frost. Every soul carries a unique vibration, a signature frequency that, when expressed, creates harmony with the cosmic dance. This frequency manifests as purpose, not a destination to reach, but an energy to embody. Purpose arises where personal passion meets universal service. It is the point where your greatest joy intersects with the world's deep need. When you align with this truth, the universe conspires to support your path. Doors open without effort, synchronicities multiply, and abundance flows naturally. Walter began offering free mentoring sessions at the local library. Each interaction felt like coming home. Time dissolved, energy expanded, and his spirit soared. Soon, word spread of the man whose guidance sparked transformation in others. Among his mentees was James, a young craftsman whose talent quickly blossomed beyond Walter's own skills. Where ego might have whispered jealousy, Walter felt only pure delight. James's growth confirmed a profound truth. When we serve from authentic purpose, our success multiplies through others. His students' achievement became living proof that aligned service creates endless ripples of abundance. This truth echoes through ages. Purpose is not a solitary pursuit, but a channel for universal energy. When you align with your soul's calling, you become a vessel for something greater than yourself. Success flows not from striving, but from surrendering to this natural current of service. Sacred practice. Find a quiet spot beneath the open sky where heaven meets earth. Breathe deeply into the space of your heart. Ask with pure intention, what part of me longs to serve? Let the question float like incense into the infinite. The answer will come not as thought, but as feeling, a gentle quickening, a subtle warmth, an inner knowing. When this whisper reaches you, honor it through action within one day's time. This sacred commitment aligns your energy with universal purpose, opening channels for divine flow. Part 2. The Alignment Phase. Chapter 11. The Shadow of Resistance. In a small coastal town, Rosalie's mornings began with a familiar litany of complaints. The coffee was too bitter, the neighbors too loud, the weather too damp. Each grievance flowed from her lips like a ritual, carving deeper grooves into her daily experience. The more she voiced her dissatisfaction, the more life seemed to conspire to provide reasons for complaint. The universe speaks in the language of resonance. Your words and thoughts are not mere expressions. They are magnetic frequencies drawing similar experiences toward you. When you resist what is, you unknowingly strengthen the very patterns you wish to change. Like a river meeting a dam, energy pools and stagnates where resistance lives. Resistance often wears the mask of wisdom. It whispers that criticism keeps you safe, that complaints protect you from disappointment. Yet this perceived protection becomes a prison, holding you captive in cycles of frustration. Each complaint reinforces the belief that life is against you, and the universe, in its perfect reflection, presents more situations that match this expectation. Your resistance carries wisdom beneath its thorny surface. When you feel pushed against something, pause and listen. That tension points toward beliefs asking for healing. Perhaps the bitter coffee speaks to unacknowledged bitterness in relationships. Maybe the noisy neighbors mirror internal chaos seeking peace. One afternoon, a thin gray cat appeared in Rosalie's garden. Its fur was matted, its eyes wide with distrust. Each time she approached, it darted away. Yet something in its fearful gaze touched her heart. Instead of forcing connection, she simply sat nearby day after day, offering gentle presence. Gradually, the cat's resistance softened. First, it stayed while she gardened. Then it accepted food from a distance. Finally, one quiet evening, it brushed against her leg, a moment of surrender that brought tears to her eyes. In that touch, Rosalie recognized her own pattern, how forcing change only strengthens walls, while patience dissolves them naturally. Ancient practice of release. When resistance appears in your day, pause. Name the irritation that troubles you. Rather than pushing it away, acknowledge its presence with these words: I bless this experience as my teacher. I release my resistance to its lesson. Feel the subtle shift as acceptance replaces struggle. This practice transforms resistance from barrier to bridge, revealing the growth hidden within each challenge. Chapter 12. The Dance of Synchronicity. A merchant named Hugh began noticing peculiar patterns in his daily life. Every morning his eyes would catch the clock at precisely 11:11. Sales would mysteriously total to $333, or customers would appear in groups of 3. At first he dismissed these occurrences as mere chance, fortifying his mind against their whispered meanings. The universe speaks in patterns, in rhythms that pulse beneath the surface of ordinary reality. These synchronicities, these moments of meaningful coincidence, serve as gentle taps on your spiritual shoulder. They are the universe's way of confirming your path, offering guidance when you stand at life's crossroads. Each number, each repeated pattern, carries a vibration that resonates with specific aspects of your journey. When you encounter these signs repeatedly, the universe is attempting to capture your attention, to draw your awareness to something requiring recognition or change. One stormy evening, Hugh found himself driving on unfamiliar roads, his GPS signal lost in the remote countryside. Anxiety crept in as darkness fell, until a song emerged through static on his radio, one his grandmother used to sing. Following an inexplicable urge, he turned down the road mentioned in its lyrics. This decision led him directly to a well-lit inn, exactly when he needed shelter most. That night taught Hugh that signs appear most clearly when logic reaches its limits. The universe had been preparing him through those small synchronicities, training his awareness to recognize guidance when it mattered most. His previous doubts dissolved in the face of such precise orchestration. This truth extends to you now. The signs you've been noticing, those recurring numbers, chance meetings, overheard conversations that seem oddly relevant, they're not random. They form a sacred language between you and the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. The ancient practice of sign recognition. Find a quiet moment each evening. Take a small notebook and record the patterns, numbers, or coincidences that crossed your path that day. Smile gently as you write each one, acknowledging its presence without forcing meaning. This simple act of recognition strengthens the bridge between your conscious awareness and the universe's guiding wisdom. As you practice this ritual, watch how the signs become clearer, more frequent, and more personally meaningful, like a conversation growing more intimate between trusted friends. Chapter 13. The Art of Receiving. In a quiet village among rolling hills, Martha tended her garden with loving care, sharing its bounty with everyone who passed. Her baskets overflowed with fresh vegetables, herbs, and flowers, gifts she freely offered to neighbors, strangers, and anyone in need. Yet beneath her generous spirit lay a peculiar resistance that disrupted the natural flow of abundance. When others attempted to return her kindness, a freshly baked loaf of bread, assistance with heavy tasks, or even heartfelt words of appreciation, Martha would wave away their offerings with practiced deflection. "Oh, I couldn't possibly," she'd say, or "Please, keep it for yourself." These gentle refusals created an invisible barrier, blocking the cosmic current of give and receive. The universe operates through perfect equilibrium, an eternal dance of giving and receiving. When you close one channel, you inadvertently restrict both. Each refusal of grace, no matter how small, sends ripples through the fabric of abundance, telling the universe you are not ready to receive its gifts. Martha's breakthrough arrived through Anna, a wise friend who understood this divine principle. When Martha delivered her usual basket of vegetables, Anna insisted on sharing her grandmother's cherished soup recipe in return. "By accepting," Anna explained softly, "you give me the gift of giving." These words penetrated Martha's heart, revealing the truth that receiving with grace is as sacred as giving with love. In that moment of surrender, Martha felt an ancient tension release. She accepted the recipe with open hands and an open heart. Within days, unexpected blessings began flowing into her life, a surprise inheritance, an opportunity to teach gardening at the community center, and deeper connections with those around her. The universe, sensing her newfound receptivity, responded with abundant grace. This truth echoes through the ages. Receiving is not taking. It is participating in the cosmic dance of abundance. When you accept life's offerings, from the grandest gift to the smallest kindness, you align with the natural flow of universal energy. Practice today. Accept the smallest gift, a compliment, an offer, a helping hand, without protest. Whisper inwardly, "I am worthy of ease." Expansion begins there. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Silence of Intuition. In the ancient streets of a timeless marketplace, Frank stood paralyzed before his merchant stall. Charts and scrolls of market predictions lay scattered around him, each promising the secret to success. Day after day, he analyzed patterns, studied trends, and plotted elaborate strategies. Yet prosperity remained elusive. One morning, before the sun touched the horizon, Frank sat in unusual stillness. The numbers and plans fell away like autumn leaves, revealing a simple truth that had whispered beneath his calculations all along. In that sacred moment, he understood that his endless strategizing had been drowning out his inner knowing. The universe speaks not through complexity, but through the gentle nudge of intuition. This voice of the soul requires no validation, no proof, no endless analysis. It arrives as a knowing deeper than thought, clearer than reason. When you align with this inner compass, the path illuminates itself without strain or struggle. Your analytical mind serves as a faithful servant but a poor master. True wisdom flows not from endless planning, but from the space between thoughts. In that quantum field of infinite possibility, your higher self already knows the perfect next step. Along a mountain path, a young hiker named Thomas discovered this truth through necessity. His trusted compass had shattered, leaving him lost in gathering dusk. Fear urged him to rush blindly forward, but something deeper beckoned him to pause. As he stood in stillness, the wind's subtle movement through the trees spoke to him in a language beyond words. Following this ethereal guidance, Thomas found himself safely back on the trail, led by something more reliable than any mechanical device. This tale mirrors an eternal truth. When you release the need to figure everything out, solutions arise naturally. The universe's intelligence flows through you most clearly in moments of surrender. Your intuition connects you to this cosmic wisdom, translating it into feelings, nudges, and quiet certainties. Sacred practice. Before any decision, create 2 minutes of complete silence. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let questions float in your mind without grasping for answers. Notice the sensations in your body. Among the responses that arise, seek the one that brings a wave of peace, not the excitement of ego or the contraction of fear. This peaceful knowing is your intuition speaking, your direct line to universal wisdom. Follow this practice daily and watch as your path unfolds with graceful certainty. Chapter 15. The Cleansing of Thought. In a small cottage at the edge of town lived Dottie, whose mind buzzed like a hive of restless bees. Each morning brought a fresh swarm of worries. What if I'm not good enough? Why hasn't success arrived yet? Am I on the wrong path? These thoughts circled endlessly, casting shadows over her days even when sunshine streamed through her windows. The universe operates through crystal-clear channels. Like water flowing through pipes, your manifestations travel along the pathways of your thoughts. When these channels become clogged with mental debris, even the most powerful intentions struggle to reach their destination. Your mind, in its natural state, mirrors the pristine clarity of a mountain lake, reflecting truth without distortion. Every thought carries a vibration. Those that cycle repeatedly become your dominant frequency, attracting experiences that match their tone. Mental clutter isn't merely uncomfortable, it actively shapes your reality. By allowing your mind to overflow with anxious chatter, you unconsciously broadcast a signal of chaos to the universe, which faithfully returns more situations that perpetuate mental noise. One autumn afternoon, Dottie decided to clear her dusty attic. As she sorted through old boxes and swept away cobwebs, something unexpected occurred. With each physical space she cleared, her mind grew quieter. After removing the last piece of clutter, she sat in the now empty attic and experienced a moment of pure mental silence. In that stillness, inspiration flowed effortlessly. Creative solutions and fresh opportunities she hadn't noticed before suddenly became apparent. This simple act of clearing space carries profound wisdom. Your outer world mirrors your inner landscape. Just as Dottie's cluttered attic had blocked the flow of fresh air and light, mental congestion blocks the flow of universal energy. When you release mental debris, you create space for divine inspiration to enter. The ritual of mental purification need not be complex. Find a quiet moment each day. Take a single piece of paper and write down one persistent thought that clouds your mind. Hold the paper in your hands and say, "I release you with gratitude for your lesson." Then dispose of the paper, feeling the thought dissolve into nothingness. The empty space left behind becomes fertile ground where new possibilities can take root. Through this practice, you'll discover that most mental noise is simply habit rather than truth. As you clear away these thought patterns one by one, your natural state of clarity emerges. In this pristine mental environment, manifestations flow with ease, and the universe's whispers become clear as crystal. Chapter 16. The Pulse of Emotions. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, Harrison clutched his smile like armor, forcing brightness into every interaction. Behind closed doors, tears threatened to breach his careful defenses, yet he pushed them away, believing that spiritual evolution meant perpetual joy. Each suppressed feeling became a stone in his heart, weighing down his manifestations with invisible resistance. The universe speaks through every emotion, whispering wisdom in the language of feeling. When you deny sadness, anger, or fear, you reject the sacred messages carried within their depths. These emotions rise not to harm, but to heal, each one bearing a gift of understanding, wrapped in temporary discomfort. Your feelings are neither positive nor negative. They are frequencies of awareness, each vibrating with purpose. Joy illuminates your path toward desires, while sadness reveals what needs release. Anger points to boundaries requiring respect, and fear highlights areas awaiting growth. In this light, emotional mastery means not control, but conversation, a flowing dialogue between your human experience and divine wisdom. One evening, Harrison wandered into a small theater where a solitary dancer moved across an empty stage. Her performance flowed like water, from explosive joy to deep sorrow, from fierce strength to gentle surrender. Each emotion passed through her body like weather through the sky, leaving no residue, claiming no permanence. In her dance, Harrison witnessed true emotional alchemy, the art of allowing feelings to rise and fall naturally, without judgment or attachment. The dancer's movements taught what words could not, that resistance to any emotion creates stagnation, while acceptance creates flow. She didn't choose between light and shadow. She danced with both, transforming each gesture into pure expression. Through her art, Harrison glimpsed the possibility of living fully, embracing both sunshine and rain as essential elements of growth. Your journey toward manifestation flourishes not through forced positivity, but through authentic presence with all that arises. When you honor each feeling as a messenger, you clear the channel through which abundance flows. Every tear acknowledged becomes a drop of healing. Every fear faced becomes a stepping stone to courage. Sacred practice. When emotions surge, whether gentle or intense, place your hand upon your chest. Feel the warmth of your own touch as you say aloud, "I allow you." Let this simple ritual become your bridge between resistance and acceptance. In allowing, you'll discover that emotions, like clouds, naturally dissolve when given space to move. This practice restores your natural state of flow, where manifestation occurs with ease. Chapter 17. The Circle of Forgiveness. In a small coastal town, Nora tended her garden with meticulous care, yet inside her heart, a different kind of garden grew wild with thorns. Each morning, she watered her roses while nursing memories of betrayal from 5 years past, when her closest friend had stolen both her business idea and her potential investors. The weight of this memory cast shadows across every new friendship, every opportunity, dimming the light of possibility that once shone so brightly in her eyes. The universe speaks through patterns, and your emotional state creates the frequency that attracts your experiences. When you hold on to past hurts, you unknowingly broadcast that same frequency into your future. This spiritual principle remains unchanging. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions that caused pain. It is about freeing yourself from the energetic chains that bind you to that moment in time. Think of emotion as water. When it flows freely, it nurtures and sustains life. When it stagnates, it becomes toxic, poisoning everything around it. Resentment is such a pool of stagnant water in your energetic field, blocking the fresh streams of abundance trying to reach you. Walking through the ancient forest near her home, Nora witnessed nature's wisdom unfold before her. A mighty oak tree caught her attention. One of its branches, diseased and heavy, had naturally separated from the trunk. The tree made no dramatic display of its release. It simply allowed what no longer served its growth to fall away. In that moment of observation, Nora understood. The tree remained strong not by clinging to its damaged parts, but by releasing them with grace. This simple act of nature mirrors the profound truth about forgiveness. It is not a sacrifice, but a surrender, not weakness, but wisdom. The oak tree teaches us that letting go is not loss, but liberation, allowing space for new growth, new life, new possibilities. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. One by one, bring to mind those who have caused you pain. Envision each person surrounded by soft, healing light. Don't force feelings of forgiveness. Simply observe them in this light until you feel the sharp edges of resentment begin to soften into neutrality. Remember, neutrality is the fertile soil from which new beginnings grow. Chapter 18. The Glow of Compassion. In a bustling marketplace, Dexter rushed past a fallen fruit vendor, his mind consumed with reaching an important meeting. Yet something made him pause. Not conscience, but an inexplicable magnetic pull. Turning back, he found himself helping gather scattered oranges, each one an opportunity to share a moment of connection. This simple act awakened a profound truth. Compassion operates as a cosmic current, flowing through all beings. When you recognize yourself in another's eyes, you tap into the infinite stream of abundance that sustains all life. The universe speaks in the language of unity. Every act of kindness creates ripples in the fabric of existence, expanding outward in endless circles of reciprocity. Your compassion is not merely emotion, it is energy in motion, dissolving the illusion of separation that blocks manifestation. When you withhold compassion, you construct barriers against your own good. The universal flow cannot reach a closed heart, but when you allow yourself to feel the pulse of shared humanity, you align with life's natural tendency toward wholeness and healing. 3 days after helping the fruit vendor, Dexter found himself lost in an unfamiliar part of town. A stranger appeared, offering not just directions, but also a connection that led to an unexpected business partnership. The universe had reflected his compassion back to him, multiplied. This is not coincidence but cosmic law. What you extend returns expanded. Compassion creates channels through which abundance flows naturally. Every time you choose to see through eyes of unity rather than separation, you weave stronger connections in the web of manifestation. The fruit vendor and the helpful stranger were mirrors, showing Dexter that all beings are waves in the same ocean. Their stories remind us that each compassionate moment ripples outward, touching shores we cannot see. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Envision someone who may be struggling, known or unknown to you. Imagine soft golden light flowing from your heart to theirs. Feel this light expanding, encompassing both of you in its warm radiance. As you send this healing energy, notice how it naturally circles back, filling you with serene clarity. This practice dissolves the illusion of separation and attunes your frequency to universal abundance. Chapter 19. The Magnet of Belief. A young woman named Hazel sat before her bedroom mirror, her reflection clouded by tears of frustration. Each morning she would wake to ambitious plans, yet by nightfall those dreams would scatter like autumn leaves in the wind. No matter how diligently she worked or how precisely she followed others' advice, success remained just beyond her grasp. "Why does everything I touch turn to dust?" she whispered to her reflection. In that moment of raw honesty, the truth emerged. Deep within her heart lay the belief that she was unworthy of abundance. The universe speaks in the language of belief. Your thoughts may plant seeds, but your beliefs are the soil in which they grow. When you hold fast to the idea that you don't deserve success, you construct invisible barriers that even the most powerful intentions cannot breach. Each belief becomes a command to the cosmos, shaping reality with the precision of an artist's chisel. One crisp morning, Hazel wandered into an old glass-blowing studio. There, she watched in wonder as an artisan named Thomas worked with molten glass. As he shaped each piece, he spoke to it with tender words. "You are becoming something beautiful. You hold infinite potential. Through you, light will dance." Thomas turned to Hazel and shared, "Glass remembers the energy you give it. Speak to it with doubt, and it becomes brittle. Address it with love, and it flows like water." His weathered hands cradled a luminous vessel that seemed to glow from within. The same is true of life itself. In that moment, Hazel understood. Her beliefs had been shaping her reality as surely as Thomas shaped his glass. Each "I can't" and "I don't deserve" had hardened into walls around her potential. The path to transformation begins with recognition that your beliefs are not facts. They are choices. Like a glassblower's breath gives form to molten glass, your beliefs mold the raw material of possibility into experience. Ancient practice of belief alchemy. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and place both hands over your heart. 3 times daily, at sunrise, noon, and sunset, speak these words with the certainty of one who knows their truth. My life rises to match my belief in it. Feel each word resonating through your being, like ripples across still water. Let this declaration reshape the invisible architecture of your reality. Chapter 20. The Flow of Detachment. In a small coastal village, Milton spent his days crafting detailed plans for every conceivable outcome. His calendar burst with color-coded schedules, and his desk overflowed with backup strategies for his backup strategies. Each morning began with updating his meticulously organized planning system, leaving no moment to chance. Yet despite his exhaustive preparation, success remained elusive, dancing just beyond his grasp. The universe speaks through exhaustion when wisdom fails to penetrate through other means. One evening, after 18 hours of strategic planning, Milton's body simply refused to continue. His usual sharp mind turned foggy, and his carefully arranged papers blurred before his eyes. In that moment of complete surrender, a profound peace washed over him. For the first time in years, he sat in silence, too tired to plan, too weary to worry. The law of attraction operates with elegant simplicity. What you resist persists. Your relentless planning creates resistance to the natural flow of life. When you clutch too tightly to control, you constrict the very channel through which abundance flows. The universe cannot deliver its gifts through clenched hands. In the depths of your being lies a wisdom far greater than any strategic plan. This infinite intelligence orchestrates galaxies and guides migrations across vast oceans. It knows the perfect timing for every leaf to fall and every flower to bloom. This same force stands ready to choreograph the dance of your desires, if only you would loosen your grip on the need to control every step. One morning, Milton took his fishing rod to the pier. His usual approach would have involved checking weather patterns, tide charts, and fish migration data. Instead, exhaustion had taught him surrender. He cast his line and simply sat, watching the sun paint the waves in gold. Hours passed without a single bite. Yet Milton remained in peaceful acceptance. The moment his mind drifted away from fishing entirely, lost in the beauty of seabirds swooping overhead, he felt the strongest pull on his line. This seemingly simple morning revealed a universal truth. Manifestation flows most freely through the channel of relaxed attention. The fish arrived not through Milton's careful planning, but through his surrender to the moment. Sacred practice. After voicing your intentions for any endeavor, pause and softly speak these words. And now I let go. Then immerse yourself in an activity that brings pure joy, perhaps walking in nature, creating art, or playing with a pet. True allowing begins in these moments of relaxed delight, when your guard drops and the universe can finally work its magic through you. Part 3. The Mastery Phase. Chapter 21. The Architecture of Faithful Focus. A woman named Sally dwelled in a cottage by the sea, her mind a tempest of desires. Each morning brought new dreams, to paint masterpieces, to write novels, to build a sanctuary for lost souls, to travel distant lands. She scattered her energy like seeds in a windstorm, wondering why nothing took root. The universe speaks in the language of clarity. When your thoughts disperse in countless directions, the cosmic forces cannot align with precision. Each wish carries its own frequency, and when multiple frequencies clash, they create static rather than symphony. This is why masters of manifestation choose their desires with sacred deliberation. Think of energy as water flowing through channels. When divided into many small streams, it loses its power. Yet, when directed through a single course, it carves mountains. Your attention holds this same force. It shapes reality itself. The art lies not in wanting everything, but in selecting what resonates most deeply with your soul's truth. Those who manifest with grace understand that focus is not restriction, it is power. By honoring one dream fully, you honor all dreams. This is the paradox of abundance. Through conscious limitation comes unlimited potential. When you scatter your energy across many desires, you dilute the very force that brings them into being. One evening, as Sally walked along the misty shore, she witnessed the lighthouse beam cutting through dense fog. While countless waves crashed below and stars wheeled overhead, that single ray remained steady, unwavering in its purpose. Ships found their way home guided by this focused light, not by the diffuse glow of all the stars combined. In that moment, Sally understood. The lighthouse didn't question its purpose or divide its energy. It simply shone, consistent and clear, fulfilling its singular intention. Through this devotion to one purpose, it served all purposes, guiding vessels, warning of danger, bringing travelers home. Ancient practice. In the quiet of dawn, seat yourself in stillness. From all your wishes, select the one that resonates most deeply with your soul's truth. Hold this single dream in your awareness like a lighthouse holds its beam. For 7 days, speak of it as though it already exists. I am, rather than I want. Let all other desires rest gently aside, knowing that through this one clear channel, the universe's abundance flows most purely. Watch as reality begins to mirror your focused intention, rearranging itself around the steady light of your unwavering attention. Chapter 22. The Expansion of Joy. In a bustling city market, Ruth stood behind her jewelry counter, frowning at her sales ledger. Each morning brought the same ritual: counting inventory, checking figures, and worrying about tomorrow. The weight of responsibility had slowly dimmed her once radiant spirit, until she saw every transaction as a battle against scarcity. One afternoon, a child dropped an ice cream cone near her stand. Instead of crying, the little girl laughed so heartily at the splattered mess that Ruth couldn't help but join in. That shared moment of mirth lifted something within her. Suddenly, customers began flowing to her counter, drawn by the lingering warmth of her genuine smile. By day's end, she had sold more pieces than in the entire previous week. The universe speaks through vibration, and joy resonates at the highest frequency. When you align with joy, you tap into the natural current of abundance. Joy is not mere emotion. It is a creative force that reorganizes reality around its radiant core. Your state of being becomes a magnet, attracting circumstances that match its frequency. Many walk the spiritual path with furrowed brows, believing that serious dedication leads to faster results. Yet the opposite holds true. Tension blocks, while lightness allows. The universe responds not to the intensity of your striving, but to the purity of your vibration. In a small bakery across town lived an old woman named Sophia, who sang to her bread as it rose. Customers traveled miles for her loaves, claiming they could taste joy in every bite. When asked her secret, Sophia simply replied, "The yeast dances to my happiness." Her prosperity flowed not from marketing strategies or business plans, but from the simple delight she took in her craft. This truth echoes through the ages. Joy is not the result of success, it is the catalyst for it. Sophia's story reveals that when you infuse your actions with genuine delight, the universe mirrors that energy back in unlimited ways. Ancient practice of joy weaving. Choose one activity today that you normally approach with seriousness. It might be washing dishes, writing emails, or walking to work. Consciously inject it with playfulness. Hum while you work, dance between tasks, or simply smile for no reason. Your only measure of success should be the lightness in your heart. Watch how this shift in energy attracts unexpected blessings. Remember, a heart that knows joy becomes a magnet for miracles. Chapter 23. The Rhythm of Presence. In a bustling marketplace, Leon wandered through stalls of fresh produce and vibrant fabrics, yet saw nothing. His mind drifted between memories of yesterday's mishaps and tomorrow's uncertainties. Though surrounded by life's rich tapestry, he remained lost in the shadows of time. The universe speaks through the language of now. Each moment arrives as a pristine gift, wrapped in infinite possibility. When attention scatters across time's landscape, power dissolves into mist. The present moment stands as a sacred threshold, the only point where manifestation ignites. Your thoughts, like Leon's, may drift between past regrets and future fears. Yet life unfolds exclusively in the eternal now. When consciousness fragments across time, it weakens. United in presence, it transforms reality. The law of attraction responds only to your current vibration, not to memories or projections. One rainy afternoon, Leon sat beside his window. For once, he didn't label the weather as good or bad. He didn't wish for sunshine or worry about tomorrow's plans. He simply watched. Each droplet carried its own perfect rhythm. The sound of rain became a meditation. In that pure attention, something shifted. Time stopped being an enemy to manage and became a dance to witness. That rain became his teacher. Without commentary, judgment, or desire to change anything, he discovered presence. In that state of allowing, solutions arose naturally. Opportunities appeared effortlessly. Life began responding to his undivided attention with unexpected gifts. You too hold this power. When mind, heart, and body align in the present moment, you become a clear channel for universal energy. Past and future are mental constructs. Only now holds the power to create. The ancient ones knew this truth. Presence precedes power. Your ability to manifest depends not on how much you plan or remember, but on how fully you inhabit each moment. Like a lens focusing scattered light into concentrated power, presence focuses your creative force. Practice for presence. 3 times today, morning, noon, and evening, pause whatever you're doing. Breathe deeply and whisper now with each inhale. Feel your scattered attention gathering back into your body. Notice the sounds, sensations, and energy of the present moment. Let each breath reclaim fragments of awareness from past and future. This simple ritual restores your natural power as a conscious creator. Remember, the present moment is not a stepping stone to somewhere else. It is the only place where life exists, where change becomes possible, where dreams take root in reality. Your power to attract and create lives exclusively in the now. Chapter 24. The Portal of Trust. In a quaint coastal town, Pearl ran a small healing center, her days filled with anxious questions about her path. Each morning she would call her mentors, seeking validation that her choices aligned with her purpose. Each evening she would scroll through endless reviews, requiring constant confirmation of her worth. Though her work touched many lives, her need for perpetual reassurance created an energetic drain, like a vessel unable to hold water due to countless tiny holes of doubt. The universe speaks in certainty, not hesitation. When you perpetually seek external validation, you inadvertently tell the cosmic forces that you distrust their guidance. Trust is not merely an emotion. It is a vibrational frequency that opens quantum doorways of possibility. While the logical mind demands proof before letting go, spiritual physics operates in reverse. Release precedes revelation. Consider how water flows. It does not question its course or repeatedly check its direction. It simply moves, finding its way through every obstacle with fluid acceptance. This is the wisdom of trust, not blind faith, but rather an innate knowing that life's intelligence surpasses our limited understanding. One windy afternoon, Pearl noticed a child's kite entangled in the branches of an old oak tree. The more she pulled and strategized, the tighter the strings became. An elder woman passing by smiled and said, "Let the wind do the work." Reluctantly, Pearl loosened her grip. Within moments, a gentle gust lifted the kite, unwinding it effortlessly from the branches. The kite danced briefly in the air before floating down into her open hands. This moment transformed Pearl's understanding. She saw how her constant need for reassurance was like pulling at the kite strings, creating resistance rather than allowing natural flow. The solution had never been in forcing certainty, but in trusting the unseen currents of life. Just as the kite found freedom through surrender to the wind, your path clarifies when you release the need to control its unfolding. The universe operates through trust, not through constant verification. Each time you choose trust over anxiety, You align with the natural order that orchestrates stars and seasons without hesitation. As you prepare for sleep each night, lie quietly and whisper these words, "I trust life completely." Feel these words sink into your being like stones dropping into still water. This simple practice instructs your energy field to reorganize while you sleep, aligning your frequency with the natural flow of universal intelligence. Trust becomes your lullaby, and manifestation your morning song. Chapter 25. The Symphony of Service. In a bustling marketplace, Cliff distributed fresh bread daily from his bakery, yet felt drained by evening. His generosity stemmed from obligation rather than joy, leaving him exhausted and unfulfilled. Each loaf given came with an unconscious price, the weight of expectation, the burden of recognition, the silent demand for gratitude. One morning before dawn, as Cliff kneaded dough with heavy hands, a soft melody drifted through his window. Outside, an old woman tended to wildflowers growing between cobblestones, humming as she worked. No one watched her gentle care, yet her face glowed with quiet satisfaction. The flowers bloomed brighter where she touched them, as if responding to her selfless attention. Through this simple scene, the eternal truth reveals itself. Authentic service flows from abundance, not scarcity. When you give from an empty cup, you deplete not only yourself, but dilute the very essence of your offering. True giving is an overflow of inner fullness, a natural expression of joy that requires no witness. As your energy aligns with universal abundance, service transforms from duty into celebration. Each act becomes a note in the cosmic symphony, resonating with the pure frequency of unconditional love. The universe operates through this principle. The sun doesn't shine for recognition. The rain doesn't fall for gratitude. Yet their giving sustains all life. One afternoon, Cliff noticed a young apprentice struggling with basic baking techniques. Instead of seeing an interruption to his work, he felt a spontaneous surge of joy at the opportunity to share his craft. Without announcement or expectation, he began teaching the fundamental rhythms of bread making. This simple act of sharing rippled outward. The apprentice taught others, who taught more, until a web of mutual support grew naturally from that single seed of authentic giving. Each person in this expanding circle gave from their unique overflow, creating a sustainable current of abundance that nourished the entire community. Here lies the sacred paradox. When service springs from joy rather than obligation, both giver and receiver are elevated. The energy flows unobstructed, multiplying its blessings through each heart it touches. This is the natural law of spiritual circulation. What you give with pure intention returns multiplied, not through conscious exchange, but through the universe's perfect balance. Ancient practice. Today, perform one act of service that no one will ever trace back to you. Let it be something that brings you genuine joy in the doing. Plant flowers in a neglected corner, leave an anonymous note of encouragement, quietly clear a path for others to walk. Feel the pure pleasure of giving without attachment to outcome or recognition. In this secret symphony, your soul's true voice will sing. Chapter 26. The Radiance of Self-Love. In a bustling marketplace, Dorothy stood before a collection of mirrors for sale, each one reflecting a different angle of her uncertainty. Day after day she gathered opinions like shells on a shore, seeking confirmation of her worth in the eyes of others. Her smile dimmed or brightened according to the reception it received. Her voice rose or fell with the approval in the air. Until one morning, while arranging these mirrors in her small shop, sunlight caught their surfaces in such a way that they formed a circle of light around her. In that moment, she glimpsed something profound. Her reflection multiplied infinitely, yet each image emanated from one source. The universe speaks through such moments of clarity. Your worth flows not from external validation, but from your connection to the infinite source that breathes life into all things. Like a wave that need not ask the ocean's permission to rise, your essence carries the full power of creation. When you seek approval outside yourself, you temporarily disconnect from this truth. It is akin to a star doubting its light because clouds pass before it. Yet the star continues to shine, undiminished by any shadow. In Dorothy's shop one afternoon, an elderly woman entered, carrying a single candle. As dusk approached, she lit her candle and used it to illuminate others on display. Each new flame burned as brightly as its source, the original flame never diminishing. "You see," the woman said, touching Dorothy's hand, "light knows its nature. It gives endlessly without loss." This truth reflects the essence of self-love, not as vanity or ego, but as recognition of the divine light within. When you honor your inherent worth, you align with the frequency of creation itself. Like the candle's flame, your light never diminishes by sharing it. Instead, it grows stronger through recognition of its own nature. Self-love transforms from an act of will into a remembrance of truth. It becomes as natural as a flower turning toward the sun, as effortless as a river flowing toward the sea. Your worth requires no external proof, just as the sun needs no permission to shine. The practice. Each morning, find a quiet moment before your day begins. Place your hand gently over your heart, feeling its steady rhythm beneath your palm. Close your eyes and declare softly, "I am enough eternally." Allow yourself to feel light expanding behind your ribs, spreading warmth through your chest. Let this truth settle into your bones. You are complete, whole, and worthy, simply because you exist. Chapter 27. The Harmony of Environment. In the quiet hours before dawn, Gerald stood in his office surveying the mountain of papers, scattered supplies, and endless tangles of charging cables that had accumulated over months. Each surface held remnants of delayed decisions, half-finished projects, and forgotten intentions. The chaos mirrored the static in his thoughts, a constant buzz that prevented clarity from taking root. As sunlight began streaming through his window, Gerald felt an inexplicable urge to begin clearing his space. He started small, organizing one drawer, then another. With each item he sorted, each surface he wiped clean, something shifted within him. The fog in his mind began lifting, like clouds parting after a storm. His breathing deepened, his shoulders relaxed, and his thoughts crystallized with unexpected clarity. The outer world reflects the inner landscape of consciousness. When your physical space holds stagnant energy, it creates resistance in the flow of manifestation. Every object carries a vibrational imprint, either supporting your highest vision or anchoring you to past patterns. The universe responds not only to thoughts and emotions, but to the energy field you cultivate in your immediate environment. This truth became evident when Gerald's friend Sarah invited him to her garden. She had spent weeks transforming a neglected corner into a sanctuary of blooming flowers and meandering paths. As I cleared the weeds, she shared, old worries seemed to uproot themselves too. Each new plant I added felt like planting a fresh possibility in my life. Within months of tending her garden, opportunities began blossoming in Sarah's career, relationships flourished, and an inner peace took root that had eluded her for years. Her garden became a living testament to the power of conscious space clearing. Just as nature abhors a vacuum, the universe rushes to fill cleared space with fresh energy aligned to your current intentions. When you release what no longer serves, whether physical items or limiting beliefs, you create room for new manifestations to emerge. Sacred practice. Choose one area of your living space that feels heavy with stagnant energy. As you physically clear this space, touch each item mindfully. Ask yourself, does this support who I am becoming? While removing clutter, breathe deeply and visualize old energy dissolving. Feel the lightness that enters as space opens. This ritual of conscious clearing realigns your environment with your highest vibration, allowing universal energy to flow freely through your life once more. Chapter 28. The Vision of Collective Energy. In a small coastal town, Betty taught piano to children, working alone in her studio for years. Each morning, she would practice her scales and arpeggios in solitude, manifesting modest success through her individual efforts. Yet something felt incomplete in her manifestations, like a song missing its harmonies. One stormy evening, when power failed throughout the neighborhood, neighbors gathered in Betty's studio, drawn by the warm glow of her emergency candles. As voices rose in spontaneous song, Betty witnessed a truth that would transform her understanding of universal law. The law of attraction operates not merely through individual frequency, but amplifies through collective resonance. Like strings of a grand piano vibrating in sympathy, human consciousness interweaves in patterns of mutual enhancement. When two or more align their intentions, they create not a simple addition of energy, but a multiplication of power. This principle echoes through all creation. Birds do not migrate alone, but form wings of collective purpose. Trees share nutrients through underground networks, supporting the whole forest's growth. Even the smallest atoms dance in bonds of shared intention. Your manifestations gain momentum when joined with others in harmony. This does not diminish your individual power, but rather enhances it, like a single voice finding its place in a choir. The key lies not in surrendering your unique frequency, but in allowing it to blend with complementary energies. Later that week, Betty witnessed this truth again while organizing an impromptu community concert. As voices merged in harmony, the music transcended individual contributions. A woman who had lost her job found inspiration for a new path. A lonely elder discovered connection. A troubled youth felt belonging. The shared vibration had created a field of infinite possibility. The universe responds to unified fields of intention with exponential force. When minds align in common purpose, when hearts beat in synchronized hope, reality shifts more swiftly than any single will could accomplish alone. This is not mere cooperation, but cosmic amplification. Ancient practice of unity. Find a quiet moment with another being, friend, stranger, or even a pet. Sit together in silence, both holding the same simple intention for peace or joy. Feel your energies merge and expand, creating a sphere of enhanced manifestation. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, opens channels for miraculous co-creation. The power of two aligned souls creates ripples through the fabric of reality itself. Chapter 29. The Infinite Loop of Gratitude and Growth. In an ancient mountain village there lived a merchant named Ralph who had mastered the art of attracting prosperity. His shop flourished, drawing customers from distant lands who sought his rare spices and exotic textiles. Yet, with each success, Ralph noticed a curious pattern. Abundance that wasn't acknowledged seemed to quietly slip away like water through open fingers. The universe speaks through the language of energy, and gratitude serves as the sustaining force of all manifestation. When you recognize and appreciate what flows into your life, you create an energetic seal that preserves and multiplies your blessings. Each thank you becomes a magnetic pulse, drawing more experiences worthy of gratitude. Success, in its purest form, is not a destination, but a continuous dance with the universe. Those who maintain their manifestations understand that appreciation acts as spiritual maintenance, a sacred practice that keeps the channels of abundance clear and flowing. Without this conscious recognition, even the grandest achievements can slowly dissolve, returning to the ethereal realm from which they emerged. Later, as Ralph walked through the village square, he encountered a traveling musician named Chen. After each song, Chen would pause to tune his instrument, even when the melody had been perfect. Curious, Ralph asked why he adjusted strings that already sang true. "The finest notes deserve the finest care," Chen replied, his fingers gentle on the strings. "Each song changes the tension ever so slightly. If I wait until the sound turns sour, I have already lost the sweetness of many moments." This wisdom mirrors the art of sustained manifestation. Like Chen's instrument, your creations require consistent attunement. Every achievement, every blessing, every step forward on your path deserves careful acknowledgement. This maintenance of gratitude keeps your frequency aligned with continued abundance. The practice of sacred acknowledgement. As each day draws to a close, find a quiet moment before sleep. Speak aloud your gratitude for the day's gifts, both grand and subtle. Name them specifically. I thank you for the morning sun that warmed my face, for the client who trusted my work, for the peaceful moment by the window. Let your voice carry the tenderness of true appreciation. Then rest in that frequency, allowing your consciousness to marinate in thankfulness as you drift into sleep. This practice seals your day's blessings and plants seeds for tomorrow's abundance. Chapter 30. The Awakening of Mastery. A gentle dawn filters through Lillian's window as she waters her indoor garden. For years, she had studied manifestation techniques, filling notebooks with affirmations and vision boards. Yet this morning feels different. As she moves among her plants, she notices how naturally they grow, without force, without strain, without constant checking of their progress. The realization washes over her like morning light. Manifestation isn't something to achieve, but rather a natural state of being. Just as flowers don't strain to bloom or birds don't rehearse their songs, creation flows effortlessly when we align with our true nature. The universe speaks through everything around us, revealing that we are not separate from the creative force. We are that force in expression. Every breath draws in universal energy. Every heartbeat pulses with divine rhythm. When we recognize this truth, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. In this moment of clarity, Lillian understands that all spiritual practices, from visualization to gratitude, were simply pathways leading her back to this fundamental truth. She sees now that trying to manifest is like waves trying to become water when they already are water in motion. Later that day, while preparing tea, Lillian encounters an elderly neighbor who has lived alone for decades. The woman shares stories of her life with such peace and contentment that her presence itself feels like a blessing. She speaks of life not as something to control or direct, but as a dance to join with grace and trust. This encounter mirrors Lillian's morning insight. True mastery isn't about perfecting techniques, but about remembering our original nature. Just as her neighbor naturally radiates peace without effort, manifestation flows most purely when we recognize ourselves as expressions of universal creativity. The teaching crystallizes. We are not separate beings trying to influence an external universe. We are the universe experiencing itself through human form. Every desire, every intention, every creation springs from this deeper truth. When we align with this understanding, manifestation becomes our natural expression rather than something we must work to achieve. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space as dawn approaches. Settle into stillness and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to expand beyond the boundaries of your physical form. With each breath, whisper gently, "I am the universe in motion." Feel the truth of these words dissolve the illusion of separation. Let your identity merge with the infinite creative force that flows through all things. Rest in this knowing, allowing manifestation to arise naturally from your reunited wholeness. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. You have walked 30 steps through the architecture of universal creation and returned to your own essence. The law of attraction was never a secret to acquire. It was a remembering of rhythm. Every thought, emotion, and act has tuned your frequency closer to effortless co-creation. Within you stirs an ancient knowing. Manifestation flows not from striving but from being. Your consciousness has expanded beyond mere wanting into the realm of sacred allowing. Each breath now carries the potential of creation. Each moment holds the seed of infinite possibility. The shift is not waiting. It is occurring, breathing through your awareness right now. Through these chapters, you have rediscovered the art of conscious creation. You have learned to witness reality without resistance, to trust in the unseen order, and to thank the universe before its gifts become visible. Keep your life unclenched and your heart attuned to wonder, for miracles prefer soft landings. Let your desires float like feathers on the wind of universal timing. Your role is not to force, but to flow, not to demand, but to dance with the cosmic current that moves through all things. These teachings are the beginning of a lifelong resonance with the universe itself. You have remembered how to speak the language of energy, how to listen to the whispers of intuition, and how to align your frequency with the abundance that surrounds you. As these words draw to a close, the new story of your soul begins, a story titled simply, now. In this eternal moment, you stand complete, whole, and ready to create in harmony with the infinite intelligence that breathes through all of life.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.